Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session in the Emerging Aviation Technologies Thought Leader Summit that's hosted by Women in Drones. This session is called Views on the Future, What's Ahead? I'm Bill Johnson, your host for today, and with me is Sally French. Sally's the founder of The Drone Girl, a blog online, and is one of our first Emerging Aviation Technology Hall of Fame inductees, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
She is also a pilot and a champion powerlifter. So, my background is that I'm very interested in the advanced air mobility or the emerging technology sector. But as part of that, I've really become interested in the drone sector, and you write about that all the time. And so, what I'd like to do is start out with what's the background that got you into this, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, so I, like many women, fell into the drone space purely by accident. I was a journalism student at the University of Missouri. I needed one credit to graduate, and pretty much the only class that fit in my schedule was called a drone journalism class. This is the first time that they were ever offering it, and it was actually back before flying drones commercially was even legal. We thought we were flying drones educationally, so we could do it, and it was a super fun class, and actually the FAA sent us a cease and desist letter because they told us that that was a commercial use, because to be fair, we were paying tuition to the school. So the class ended, I got my degree, and I really wanted to pursue drones further. Luckily, the DJI Phantom had just come out at that time, and so I purchased a DJI Phantom. I was 21, had just graduated college, and I was flying drones just by myself, trying to figure out what I was doing, crashing them a lot. There was no camera attached to it, so I just had to mount my own GoPro to it, and I started my blog purely as a way to just post my videos. Instagram wasn't really big at the time. There was no TikTok, so there was no place to post videos. So I just started a blog. And I realized that there was such a need for information. So many people started messaging me and saying, what drone are you using? Where are you flying? How are you doing this? And I thought, I should write and give people information. And this is something I'm good at. I'm a writer. Mm-hmm. And so from there, the blog just naturally grew. And I've since realized I'm not the best drone pilot. I'm not the best photographer. There's so many other people who are better at that. But what I bring to the table is that I'm able to write about that and able to communicate that. And, like we from NASA said earlier, that so many people need to have better communication skills. And I've realized that is an area where the drone industry could really benefit from someone to tell the world what the amazing uses of drones are, someone to tell drone pilots themselves what the rules are. And so that's what my blog has grown into, is just this site for news and information. And actually in 2023, this is my 10-year anniversary of The Drone Girl.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On all of that. I know that you've been recognized for your writing, and so you obviously are making a connection, and you're doing it well. So thanks for that, and that background. I appreciate it. So now, like the title of this session discusses, we're going to look at the future and try to suss out, in your particular area, where you'd like to see it go. First, we'll go to the near term. What in the next 2 to 3 years would you like to see happen in the journalism area of the drone industry?
Yeah, I think we've seen the journalism side of drones really evolve a lot, and I feel like, I got into it 10 years ago when people didn't know what a drone was. Your average person didn't know that. But then it was actually that year in November that Jeff Bezos came on CNN or on 60 Minutes, and he said drone delivery was going to be a thing, and within a few years I'm going to have all of your Amazon items delivered to your doorstep. Right. And that just kicked off this frenzy of everyone in the media wanting to talk about drones, wondering when Jeff Bezos is going to deliver my stuff with his Amazon drones. And then from there, it sort of evolved into seeing all these other companies trying to pitch out their products in a way that I think was really high hype and not a lot of, for lack of a better word, delivery. And so I got a lot of pitches from companies saying, we're the first drone company to deliver pizza by drones. So that's been done. So then we got the first company that delivered burgers by drones. And then we got the first company to deliver sandwiches by drones. And I felt like in the first sort of few years, after 2013, there was a lot of hype and not a lot of substance.
Right.
And I think that has even created some confusion for people today now.
Okay.
People don't really know, I was promised these drones to deliver me pizza, and I've never had a pizza delivered by drone, even
Right.
I haven't. And so I think people don't really know what to expect from the drone industry. And the reality is, we all know here that the drone industry is so powerful, capable of doing so many amazing things in terms of search and rescue, in terms of, research, in terms of inspection and mapping, and all these great things that you all know about. I think the regular person who's just turning on CNN every day isn't quite aware of that. They're still confused by what drones can do.
Yeah.
So I think, I would like the media to sort of better explain what drones are really used for, because they aren't being used to deliver pizzas, and they were never used to deliver
Right.
pizzas.
Do you think that giving them sort of that background of the why it didn't happen, that we don't have drone deliveries, so that you explain the regulation issues that come up, all that type of stuff, isn't that an important part of this as well?
Right, and talking about what's happening this year, that is exactly it. It's a lot of these regulation issues, and I think this year we're set to see so much in terms of
Changes.
UTM, BVLOS, all of this, and these are things the public doesn't understand, and they're important for us to understand.
That's right.
Because these are things that senators are passing bills about, and so we should
Right.
be even if you're a regular person, you should be writing to your senator and talking about those things. And so it's really important that the public has some level of education of why we didn't get the drones that we were promised in 2013, what we should expect, and what are the things that we can do now to make the skies safer and to make them useful so that drones can be used in ways that they really should be used.
Okay. And so that then sort of sets the stage. If you can get that education out there now, you now have a bit more of an open palette for the future.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see as the big stories that should be occurring, or you want to be looking at in 5 to 10 years down the road? What are you hoping for?
I mean, what I've mentioned is, the BVLOS, the
Yep.
UTM stuff. I think those are going to be so big, and those really are going to impact everyone. You're going to look out the window and you're going to wonder, so many people I find even today say, well, drones seem so unsafe. How can you guarantee they're not going to crash into each other?
Mm-hmm.
And the average person has no idea what UTM even stands for.
Yep.
And so those are sort of the stories that I think we need to explain. What's interesting is those stories are not as sexy as a pizza delivery drone.
Right.
And so I think it takes a great communicator to be able to make them sexy, to make that relevant. And so many of us we know what UTM is, and we know why it's important, and we need to work on explaining to everybody else why that's the case. And so I think that's why communication skills are really important. And that's where I see my place in the future, as well as so many of the other websites out there. Marion McNabb from Drone Life, she also was recognized with an
That's right.
award, and we sort of laugh. We both do the same thing, and we both started 10 years ago. But the more voices that are out there that can reach as many people as possible is so important for the industry.
Well, great, and thanks. You are a great communicator, by the way.
Thank you.
This has been awesome talking to you and looking into the future just a little bit. A quick glimpse. I hope we get this. I know we're going to hear a lot more from you, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
And so that finishes this session for Views on the Future, What's Ahead.